Good evening, everybody. This is Stephen House, and this is Full Time Devils, and this is tomorrow's transfers. Today, the video where we get a chance to look at everything that's going to be in the press, in the newspapers tomorrow, just as it's coming out this evening. So, first off, straight off the bat, is Paul Pogba. No, we're not signing him, obviously. No, we're not selling him, obviously. The Pogba transfer caused a little bit of a kerfuffle about 5 or 6 weeks ago when it was announced that UEFA are going to investigate, or FIFA actually, are going to investigate the transfer between Juventus and Manchester United of the player because there was some irregularities as far as they was concerned with the agent's fee. Now, at the time, everyone just jumped on the fact that it might be Manchester United because, again, Manchester United make clicks, don't they? And the reports have come out. All the reports that I'm seeing are using the headline, Manchester United cleared of wrongdoing. Now, Manchester United was never accused of wrongdoing, and the actual wording of the statement from FIFA says that Manchester United have not had proceedings started against them, or there has. That's it. It doesn't say that there will be proceedings. It doesn't say that there won't be proceedings. It just says that Manchester United have not had proceedings started against them. So we've not been cleared under investigation or anything like that. It looks like they've found some sort of irregularities just between what went on with Raiola and what went on with Juventus. So, as it stands, it appears that Manchester United are in the clear, but we've not been cleared. I don't like that word cleared when that's not technically what's happened. The next one that we've got then is Talisca. Now, I've got to be completely honest with you, I have no idea who this kid is. I've never seen him play. I've had a quick look at his stats and he seems to score quite a few goals from attacking midfield. Plays for Fenerbahce. He's on a 2-year loan, and the dudes at TurkishFootball.com, we'll have a link in the description for those as well. They've done a bit of an analysis on this transfer, or so-called transfer, because AMK, which is a Turkish sports website, or Turkish sports newspaper, are claiming that United have agreed a deal with him. The guys at Turkish Football, it's their take that there's not going to be anything happening with this. There's a release clause that, as far as they're aware, hasn't been activated. They expect the guy to stay at Fenerbahce and complete his 2-year loan. And United might also struggle with a work permit for him as well, considering that guy's not a regular Brazilian international. So this is a strange one. And like I said, I can't really say how he would fit in or anything like that because I haven't seen the guy play. Pretty decently impressive stats. But again, you don't know how that translates into the Premier League. Mourinho. So the Sun have gone absolute balls to the wall on this. Their back page is an absolute joke, but it's the Sun. So away from transfers a little bit, tax is a massive talking point at the moment. I'm not sure what the crack is with Spanish authorities at the moment. They seem to be just going after everybody about tax. And I'm not sure if there's some sort of ulterior motive behind all this lot. Obviously, probably one of the reasons that Ronaldo's being talked at to come to United is because of the tax issue and everyone's trying to use it as this massive distraction. Well, Jose Mourinho's just apparently being hit with an investigation into his tax. Now, I've tried to do a little bit of reading into it. I still don't fully understand what the issue is. It seems that Mourinho paid around about 41% tax, around about 19 million over the time that he was at Real Madrid. I don't understand where this fraud thing comes from. So I don't know enough about the case to be able to comment on it properly, but I'm sure it'll all work out in the end. It seems like they're going after massive names to try and draw attention to stuff, and I don't know the reason behind that. The Sun's back page is Taxman U, and then it's got on one side, Jose denies £3 million tax fraud, and on the other side, United target Ron could get 5 years. Why is it Taxman U? This isn't... You're talking about a Real Madrid player there and a guy that was Real Madrid boss. This is nothing to do with Manchester United. But again, the Sun... Spanish saga hits Old Trafford. There's nothing hit Old Trafford. Absolutely nothing has hit Old Trafford. Nonsense from the Sun. Again. And that's basically the rundown of what everyone's saying in the papers. And can I just throw this one out as well? I've seen people saying Ronaldo is using Manchester United. Now, I'm not going to defend Ronaldo because he used to play for us. As far as I'm concerned, Ronaldo is a Real Madrid player. And until that changes, he's a Real Madrid player. I've got no feelings for him either way. But people saying they'll have lost respect for Cristiano Ronaldo if he's used us. As far as I'm aware, the only things that's come out from Ronaldo's side of things is that he's not happy with Real Madrid, not happy with the fact he's not had the backing of the President Florentino Perez, and that he sees no way back. That's supposedly what he's told his teammates. Ronaldo's not come out and made a statement and said, I'd like to play for United, has he? No. The journalists have seen 1+1, which is Ronaldo saying that he's not happy at Real Madrid, and come up with 277, he's going to United. So if this doesn't end up going to United, it'll be United got snubbed, United couldn't close a deal. There's potentially no deal on the cards. And I'm not defending Ronaldo. I'm just pointing out the absurdity of the British press and the international press pinning this on Manchester United to the extent that our fans think that this guy is using us. No, the agent potentially could be using us. But as far as I'm aware, Mendes hasn't pinned this at United either. There doesn't seem to be anyone, apart from the press, that are linking everything. That seems to be getting everybody riled up. That's a madness for me. I'm going to come to the comments in a second and see what you guys are saying. I'm going to do that right now, actually. Who is this Talisca guy? Says Will. Again, no idea. Someone says, try to be objective. Who is a clear transfer target? Was that? It's gone. Comments are far too fast. I think we already know the targets. I think it's probably Fabinho. I think it's Morata. And I think it's Perisic. I think that's fine. Someone's saying I'm being negative. How am I being negative? I'm talking about facts. Just because I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, Ronaldo's coming and all the rest of it. How's that negative? It's reality. Get your heads out your ass. Has everyone forgot that Ronaldo, what was this one? Said he would once return to Portugal. Maybe. Arda Turan is the one with a sexy beard. What? Arda Turan would be a good one to get. I'm not sure I agree on that one, to be honest. Opinion on Icardi. I don't think there's any real link. Do you think we're in for a midfielder? Are we still looking for a midfielder? Says Freak. By the sounds of it, I think Fabinho could be the one. I hope we're not in for Dyer. I really don't. Talisca is a decent player, says Todd. You know more about him than I do. I don't know enough about the guy. Does this mean we don't get Perisic? Says Omar. What would mean that we don't get Perisic? I mean, we're talking about, what are we on, the 21st, 20th of July? June even? The window's not properly officially open. The registration part of the window isn't even open until July. There's no panic, man. Those targets won't be enough to win the league, says Stephen King. I completely disagree. If we got in Perisic and we got in Morata and we got in Fabinho, I think that is enough to win the league. What was our problem last season? Was it creating chances? No. And this was Paul Pogba without a pre-season, by the way. Our problem last season wasn't the defence, which we've improved. Our problem was finishing chances. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I think Morata's better than Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but I think what Morata might offer is a bit more mobility up front, which might allow us to get in better positions to complete the chances that we're already getting. Maybe they're not enough to win the league. I would like a massive signing myself as well, someone that can run at the defence, but you can't fix everything in one window. I'd be pretty happy with what comes in if that's what comes in, to be honest. Someone says Messi. I don't know what that means. Someone says, what happened with the Morata deal? The guys just got married this weekend. I'm sure we're going to see some movement on it today, tomorrow, the next day. Too many draws last season. Was there that many draws? Yeah, there was a lot of draws actually, wasn't there? I forgot all about them. I've wiped them. Yeah, there was a lot of draws in the unbeaten run, to be fair. Would I take Lacazette not over Morata? I think with what he's going for in Morata is a good idea. Personally, you all know my thoughts on it. I'd rather Lukaku, but I don't think we're getting that guy. Does pre-season make that much of a difference, says Momo? I think what happens in pre-season is, obviously your fitness gets set out, and I'm really enjoying at the moment seeing a lot of the lads going working out with personal trainers and doing extra and additional stuff. That tells me that they've got their minds on the game. I'm talking about some of the youngsters as well, really getting focused, seeing lads going out there, putting the miles in, getting ready for pre-season. I think pre-season is about setting out a couple of methods of play, because I'd be very surprised if any team plays the same way year in, year out. So pre-season's the chance to lay down your plan A. Here's how we're going to try and play football this season. I think Jose Mourinho tried to do that last season, but as he learnt more about the players, as he learnt more about our opposition, that evolved and we became a different team at the end of the season than we did at the start of the season. But I think it's a way to really hammer in some of your ideas, some of your tactics, and get some of the new players into the system of play as a baseline system, default of play, and then you can see what happens after that. And I think the games themselves, they mean very little. I mean, we've seen some of the best performances from United on pre-season when we just play all the kids. And, you know, I don't know what the reason behind that is, but that you do occasionally see that. Maybe it's the pressure, maybe it's because they feel like they got something to prove. You wouldn't watch pre-season just on the basis that this is going to tell you what happens for the rest of the season. Pre-season matches you should really treat as an extended training session in my eyes. But there you go. Will Zlatan Ibrahimovic return in November, says JJ. I think he's going to be in and around the club. And I would like to see him offered something if it's the right thing for the club. United will be strong next season when we start. Too fast. When we finish signing half of Europe, are we going to stop parking a bus and playing forwards as wong backs, says Sean. Well, I don't remember anyone getting played as a wong back, for starters, but I also don't really think that we park the bus all that often. This myth, again, this is another thing that's been pulled out by the press. You can't attack everybody. If Mourinho had attacked people, he would have been slaughtered and called as naive as Pep Guardiola's been. What did he win last season, by the way, actually, Pep Guardiola? There's nothing wrong with parking a bus. There's nothing wrong with tactically outsmarting your opposition to win the game. I don't think United and Mourinho should constantly look to be pragmatic, and I said today, I would love to see United really open up and absolutely swat some of these middle to lower teams aside next season, as that's what a real Jose Mourinho side does. But against the top opposition, especially away from home, getting a draw is a good result. And if you can get a draw, then that's a good result for me. And I think that people rose tint how Fergie used to do this. Fergie wouldn't go to Anfield and get a win every single year. Fergie wouldn't go to Arsenal and get a win every single year. Fergie has parked a bus and played for a draw multiple times, regardless of what he comes out and says in public. So to hammer Mourinho in a side that needs a lot of work for doing that and looking after the result is nonsense. I don't think we parked a bus. Tactically outsmart, and it's not smart if you get 1 point. It isn't smart if you get 1 point, but do you know what? Sometimes the manager can only do so much. The manager can prepare and instruct the players, but when individual mistakes happen or when an individual bit of brilliance on the opposition team happens, there's nothing you can do. There's times last season, like Everton away, where Fellaini gave them a penalty away. We should have won that game. The home game against Arsenal, we completely dominated it. We should have won that game. A momentary lapse of concentration. Ozil scores. I think it was Ozil. And we end up drawing the game. Burnley at home, we have 37 shots. Now, you can't blame Mourinho for that, can you? In the slightest. Now, some of those results start going our way. Things look a little bit different going into the back end of the season. You can't look at the results at the back end of the season when we was prioritising Europa League to get into the Champions League and say that is how Mourinho plays. He played those games to get through some of those games. He wouldn't have done the same if those had come earlier in the season. Simple as that. Shaw staying or leaving, says Awenda. I want to see him stay. I think you've got to just be a bit more patient with him and see what happens. Fellaini, will he start? No, I don't think he does start. But he's certainly useful to having around the squad and certainly does exactly what Jose wants him to do. Rooney against Swansea. I don't recall the incident you're talking about. Oh, of course I do. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, these little individual mistakes in games, individually you can explain them. Over the course of a season, they become frustrating, don't they? Kieran says we seriously need a reliable left-back. Here's what I think. You've got a pool of lads at the moment at left-back that are all second-choice left-backs. One of those on the tour or in pre-season training needs to stand up and say, I am your left-back to Jose Mourinho. Give Shaw a chance, says Salano. We seriously need a reliable... Alright, you've already said that, mate. Douglas Costa is one of my favourite players. I hope he joins us. Giroud scored. Yes, it was Giroud, not Ozil. Fellaini will start until we get a new centre mid. We might only play with two midfielders. I think you're going to see a lot of flexible moving in and out of 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1 next season. I really do. Another season out of the top four equals mega pressure for Jose. Absolutely. I don't... Well, the only way that we get into the Champions League next season is going to be winning the Champions League or finishing inside the top four. And I think you have to say he needs to finish inside the top four. I don't even think that's going to be good enough. If we came fourth next season, I think it'd be a bad thing. I really do think it'd be a bad thing. I think United needs to push on and challenge next season. Damian can easily do the job for the season, says Michael. I disagree to an extent because I think going forward he offers very, very little, although defensively he's very good. Someone just said in the comments there, is Angel Gomez rated higher than Ravel Morrison was? I think some people are going to rose tint what they thought about with Ravel Morrison. For me, I think Gomez has been better this season as a first-year apprentice. He's better than what Ravel Morrison was as a second year. Absolutely. And I think he's got his head screwed on 100% more as well. Yeah, I personally rate him higher than I rated Ravel Morrison. But we'll see what happens. I want to see the likes of Timbo getting a goal. Comments going a bit too fast, sorry. Do I believe Nainggolan is being sought after by United, given his response to a question by a reporter? I think he's one of the few players that we're looking at, but there's not been any sort of reports coming out that we have put any sort of bidding for him. But I believe he is one that we're looking at, yeah. Will Marshall get his old squad number back? Does it matter? We're 22 for me, 19, 45, who cares? Who else would I like to see join United apart from Lukaku? Prior to us signing Lindelof, although I think signing of Lindelof means that it's very unlikely now. I liked Huides. I do like Huides. I think a centre-half with experience is someone that we need. I also think we need someone to do the dirty work. As you've seen what happens with France, with Pogba, someone who can do the dirty work alongside him, really frees him up. But then I don't know how you play that forward three. We've got a lot of players in and around that forward three that no one really goes, that's my position and can hold it down, can we? If I could sign 3 players, I'd go with Huides, Bale and Lukaku. That would be my summer. And I think I would try and play Fosu Mensah as a holding midfielder between him and Carrick to see the season out, and Fellaini. Real Madrid are still deciding on the Morata fee. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I wouldn't believe a single thing that comes out of that president's face, regardless whether he says that United haven't made a bid or anything like that. Everyone plays the game. What do I always say? Don't listen to anything an agent, a manager or anybody else says in press conferences, because they're all playing a game. Don't listen to them. Don't feed into it. Would like to see more of Josh Harrop next season. I think if you watch a championship team, you'll probably see quite a lot of him. I think he's going. Unfortunately for him, his age is older than Anthony Martial. People getting on Martial's case. Yeah, I think it'd be. I think it'll be a move or a loan for him. Have I changed my mind on a Ronaldo return? No, he's not coming. Relax. I don't know what more to say. We're being played by the press on this one because they know everyone gets excited about it. Look, if it was likely and he was someone that could come in and play number 9, sweet, Ronaldo would score 35 goals minimum next season. Absolutely minimum. But he's not coming, so I'm not getting excited about it. We might as well talk about what if we could sign Messi as a right winger, or a right forward. That's about as likely for me. So why aren't we talking about that? Why don't we go for a front three of Lewandowski, Messi and Ronaldo? Why don't we do that? Because it's not going to happen. Not one of them is going to happen. So let's not talk about them. Someone saying Lukaku is a donkey. Okay, cool. So what about Griezmann? Griezmann would have been a terrific signing. I agree. I'm pretty gutted that we didn't sign Griezmann. Someone saying I'm negative. I'm not negative. I'm realistic. I'm not going to sit here and say Ronaldo's coming when it clearly isn't going to happen. That's not being negative. That's called being sensible. I'm not a giddy 15-year-old that's sitting here thinking, oh, we can bring Ronaldo back. It's not going to happen. Relax. Marshall is 21, so much pressure on him. These comments are going way too fast for me to read. We seriously need a Brazilian attacking player. What's nationality got to do with anything? Messi's overrated, said Jamie. I think he'd be overrated for us. Would I sign Lewandowski? Would I like Lewandowski? Yes, he's my favourite number 9. It's not happening, is it? Wilson on the comeback. Wilson's an interesting one. There's several players at real key points in their career at Manchester United at the moment. Josh Harrop's a major one. And I can't see making a case for almost any of them to stay. I would keep Borthwick, Jackson and Riley around because I don't think we've got settled fullbacks. I think it's going to be really difficult for James Wilson to be given an opportunity ahead of the likes of Rashford. I think it's going to be really difficult for Josh Hart to get in there ahead of the likes of Mata and Marshall and stuff like that. I just don't see a way in for some of these lads. Top and bottom of it, man. Sign Rachel Riley for FTD, says Matt James. I completely endorse that comment. And I think that'll do us right now. So thanks for watching. We're back at 11 o'clock tomorrow with tomorrow's transfers today, but that's going to be, you know, the day after tomorrow's transfers tomorrow, innit? So thanks for watching. Get any of your comments, queries and all the rest of that in the comments, and I'll see you in a bit. Laters.